South Point is also proud to provide a variety of relaxing amenities for the guests who want to be pampered. We have 11 amazing restaurants featuring a wide variety for every price range and appetite. South Point's Garden Buffet has something for everyone at unbeatable prices. Or, if hunger strikes in the middle of the night, join us at Coronado Cafe. The American menu offers breakfast, lunch, or dinner 24 hours a day, plus a Chinese kitchen for authentic Chinese dishes from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. From steak and eggs to wonton soup, it's fast and friendly service 24/7. When you need a quick pick-me-up, you can find it at our state-of-the-art Starbucks just inside the main South Point entrance. Order ahead with the Starbucks app for easy mobile order pickups. Or enjoy your favorites in the relaxing dining area anytime, day or night. If you love Mexican food, Baja Miguel's has all of your south-of-the-border favorites. There are dozens of classics to choose from, like fajitas, ceviche, chimichangas, tacos, and more. And for spirit lovers, Baja's colorful non-smoking tequila bar is right outside.
Hi, I'm Kurt Angle. I represented the United States in the Olympics in 1996 and won a gold medal. Then I parlayed that into a pro wrestling career. I saw a commercial a few years ago.
Tunnel to Towers Foundation made a promise.
The Tunnel to Towers Foundation is paying off the mortgages for Gold Star families with young children. I thought, this is really cool. I want to be a part of it. My dad served in the Army for 30 years. We didn't have a lot of money, but he made sure we had what we needed. He set a great example for all of us. He died in a construction accident my freshman year in high school. When he died, we didn't have any income coming in, and we ended up being forced to move out of our house. I was devastated. So I understand what these families are going through, and to have an organization like Tunnel to Towers come in and pick you up and carry you and give you a home to live in, I think that's just amazing. I'd like to ask you to donate $11 a month to support these efforts by going to t2t.org or calling 1-844-BRAVEST.
Big-time, nighttime pools are always at Los Alamitos, with early Pick 4 pools of more than $175,000 on most nights, and a late Pick 4 pool of more than $150,000 on most nights. Plus, our Pick 6 pools have reached record figures in 2025, including a total pool of over $370,000 on June 15th, and record Pick 6 payouts. Big-time, nighttime pools every weekend at Los Alamitos.
The following is a Race Day Las Vegas presentation in association with Siraco Productions Limited on the Race Day Las Vegas Radio Network.
Live from the gaming capital of the world, time for Race Day Las Vegas, covering the sport of kings with a Las Vegas perspective. Now to the race desk with your host, Ralph Siraco.
From the backstretch to the turf club, at the race books and on the internet, to all horse players around the world, a good morning. All righty, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Race Day Las Vegas radio program as we begin another week of Race Day Las Vegas shows coming to you live and direct from the gaming capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada, right here at the South Point Studios at the South Point Hotel Casino Complex on Las Vegas Boulevard in your gaming capital. And, of course, at the South Point Studios streaming network at YouTube. We welcome you to the show as we begin another week of covering the great sport of kings Las Vegas style. Also want to welcome all of our listeners listening to us, of course, on our anchor radio station here in town, Sports Talk 1400 AM, 107.1 FM. All the websites as well, racedaylasvegas.com, .vegas, .world, .global. And, of course, anywhere else you get your podcasting. And, of course, on your devices. We got that covered with the apps. Your Google phone, your iPhone, or your Android. Just go to your app store and get your KSHP app. If you want to hear us through the radio station, of course, the YouTube app, you can see and hear us as well on that one, too. Got you covered on any type of platform that you're taking us this morning. We welcome you to the show, however, wherever, whenever you get us. In any case, all I can say is that it's a beautiful day in our neighborhood. Little bit of a slight breeze, just a little bit of a slight breeze coming through. It was great walking through the parking lot. Got a little bit of a slight breeze. Right now it's 82 degrees, very comfortable out. We're only going to get to 101. Now, I say only going to get to, and when I talk about over 100, you say, what the hell is he talking about? Well, here, you know, in Las Vegas, when you get to 108 to 114, that's hot. But 101 during the summertime, after all, today is already the 23rd day of July, right in the middle of the summertime. That's doable. You still got to stay hydrated, though. Remember that. Stay hydrated. Make sure you have a lot of water, etc. But 101 degrees, always fast, firm, and perfect, though, in the race book. You know that. And looking at the weather across the country, you got Miami 85, New York 81, Chicago 95. A little hot under the collar there for Chicago at 95. And then, of course, Los Angeles, 79 degrees. Although we're going to get to 101 today, Phoenix, Arizona is still a little bit hotter than we are. It'll be at 104 today. And those are the weather conditions there. As far as any precipitation is concerned, nowhere near any of the racing centers, that's for sure. And so that's how we start out this week. Of course, this week, the big race for the 3-year-olds will be the Jim Dandy at Saratoga. That's where the Kentucky Derby and Belmont Stakes winner, Sovereignty, has been entered. As you know, Journalism had that big dramatic win in the Haskell over the weekend, last weekend at Monmouth Park on Saturday. Now it's Sovereignty's turn to continue his trek towards an award. And, of course, he'll go in the Jim Dandy, prepping for another showdown, hopefully, with our fingers crossed, between Journalism and Sovereignty in the Travers, although they say that Journalism is going to probably stay in Southern California now. He's back there, and most probable than not, Journalism will stay back there. He may look at the Pacific Classic at going against older horses at Del Mar, just about the same weekend that the Travers is going at Saratoga. So although we won't probably get that matchup unless things change, but the intentions are right now that Sovereignty will go Jim Dandy this weekend and then on to the Travers. Journalism, who conquered the Haskell Stakes, will go back to Southern California. And as long as he's still doing good, eating up his oats and wanting to, you know, continue to race, because he's been the iron horse so far in this year, that the intentions will probably be to go to the Pacific Classic. I got some other quick news for you coming off of the news desk. Tyler Gaffalione got back to racing at Ellis Park this weekend. He was 2 for 2 on Sunday. and he was 3 for 4 on Monday. So Tyler Gaffalione is back, and he's going into the winner's circle. He had 5 wins out of 7 starts at Ellis Park his first couple of days back. 2 of those 5 wins were the stakes races. So Tyler Gaffalione is back and rolling at Ellis Park. Want to congratulate Edwin Gonzalez. He got his 2,000th career victory at Gulfstream Park on Sunday in the 6th race. So Edwin Gonzalez now a 2,000-win jockey. Congratulations to him. And talking about other people in racing, what about Joe Sharp? Joe Sharp, I should say. Joe Sharp has been really hot right now at Saratoga. In the first 2 weeks at Saratoga, he's had 12 starters. 5 of them were winners. So keep an eye on Joe Sharp. He's winning, he's starting hot out at Saratoga. You remember Flavien Prat won the first 3 races on opening day at Saratoga. Well, Mr. Hardoon has a special update on Flavien Prat. Did he stay hot or what, so to speak, for Pratt? He also has a soapbox today, folks. You got to hang around for Jonathan Hardoon's soapbox. He is going to really rag on the CAWs, and he has proof on it. Okay, we got some visual proof of that as well. So we'll keep that in mind. Monmouth on Saturday had the largest crowd on Haskell Day, largest crowd at the track since American Pharoah won it in 2015. They clocked 41,876 people, screaming and yelling people at Monmouth Park for the journalism's Haskell. So that was good news for Monmouth Park out there. Umberto Rispoli, as Jonathan Hardoon had predicted after the Haskell on Sunday, about Rispoli's very active ride on journalism throughout the stretch to get up and catch Gosden. In any case, Rispoli got fined. He got fined $6,000 and a 1-day suspension for his ride on journalism in the Haskell because he whipped him 8 times. He struck him 8 times with the whip. You can only do it 6 times. But you and I and everybody with eyes who saw that race knew that those 2 extra slaps on the good old Patukas there may have gotten the job done. So I'm sure that Rispoli will be happy to pay the $6,000. Probably the owner of the horse will help him out there. But he got fined. He got nailed for it. He is not contesting it either. Said he's going to take the no appeal coming, so he's going to take the 1-day suspension on August 1st. Bookham Dano, his next start is still up in the air. After winning that big sprint over the weekend at Saratoga, Bookham Dano's folks said they're going to take a long look and map out the rest of the year for him, but there's no set next race for Bookham Dano yet. Wyatt Barrio is back on the workout scene with Ired Ortiz Jr. aboard on Monday. He worked at Saratoga in 48.42 100 seconds there, and we're waiting to see where he goes next. Probably the Whitney, I would think. In any case, Dr. Veckman, who won the San Diego handicap last year at Del Mar. That comes up on this weekend, okay? But he is opting to go instead on the other stakes race on Saturday at Del Mar. He's opting to go in the other stakes race on the card because in the Bing Crosby. Now the Bing Crosby is 6 furlongs. It is a Grade 1, and it is a Breeders' Cup win in your in race. So Dr. Veckman is going to opt to go in the Bing Crosby Sprint and not defend his title in the San Diego, possibly because Nisos is scheduled to go in the San Diego. So we'll see those 2 horses over the weekend, but not competing against each other. Remember that filly Scottish Lassie that ran off the screen in that big stakes race, the stakes race last week at Saratoga? Well, if you're anxious to see that one come back, they say the Scottish Lassie is pointing either for the Alabama at Saratoga or the Cotillion, which I believe is run at Parks Racing. So we're waiting to see about her. Sweet Azteca, the big winner also recently. She's going to stay in Southern California for her next start. And another thought or two real quick about the D. Wayne Lucas barn. Now, Sebastian Nicole was D. Wayne Lucas's assistant there on his stable for many, many years, over 10 years. Well, he decided that he does not want to take over D. Wayne Lucas's stable. Okay? Nicole said he wants to stay as an assistant trainer, and he's had many offers to move to another trainer, obviously, to be an assistant. So the D. Wayne Lucas stable is being dispersed. Horses are going to go to both Steve Asmussen, Rusty Arnold, Brendan Walsh, and Ian Hardy. They're going to split up the race, the stable for D. Wayne Lucas. His assistant decided to pass on taking over on the stable. I would imagine it has probably some personal things there, but he is moving on to be an assistant somewhere else. So that's there as far as that's concerned. Thistledown. Here we go now. Thistledown canceled its races on Monday and Tuesday. Had nothing to do with the weather, okay? It had to do with rocks in the racetrack. And so the folks at Thistledowns had to cancel those two races. Now they say they're going to cancel the races through Thursday due to the racing surface problems, which they found rocks. The jockey said, listen, there's rocks in the racetrack. So Thistledowns did what they were supposed to do. They fired the superintendent of the racetrack. The track superintendent has been fired. They're going to try to get the rocks out of the surface there at Thistledown, and hopefully they'll be back racing on Thursday, but they already canceled Monday and Tuesday. And as far as this weekend is concerned, I've got the news on the fastest buyer figures of the weekend in all the stakes races, okay? Alamandaris, in winning the Wicker Stakes at Del Mar, got 100 buyer. Only 4 horses got 100 or more over the weekend. Alamandaris was the first at 100. Then, of course, redistricting won the United Nations, and a very solid effort, too, I might add. Redistricting got a 101 buyer. Journalism in winning the Haskell also got a 101 buyer. He did not have the highest buyer of the weekend, but he did get a 101 buyer in winning the United Nations. The horse that got the 111 buyer figure was Bookham Dano, who won the Alfred G. Vanderbilt. Bookham Dano got the highest buyer of the weekend stakes races. So, and we're waiting to see where he goes next, okay? Some of the latest news items for the weekend. As far as racing is concerned, we're going to have on Saturday, believe it or not, they're racing at Ascot over the pond on Saturday, and the big race there is the King George and Queen Elizabeth Stakes. That, I believe, is a Breeders' Cup win and you're in race, too, so you might want to watch that early in the morning on, I think FanDuel covers that. Saratoga has a couple of stakes races on Saturday, the Grade 2 Jim Dandy and the Grade 3 Lake George. We'll go over the Jim Dandy with Jonathan Ardoon in a moment or two. Del Mar has 3 stakes races on Saturday. In addition to the Bing Crosby, the Grade 1, which is a Breeders' Cup win and a win, they also have the San Diego, which is the Grade 2, and another stakes race on the card. Woodbine has a couple of stakes races, a Grade 2 and another one, and Colonial Downs will check in with a couple of stakes races. Monmouth Park will have the Grade 3 Monmouth Oaks, and Gulfstream and Prairie Meadows will also have a stakes race on tap for Saturday. As far as Sunday is concerned, Saratoga comes back with the Grade 2 Glen Falls. Del Mar will have the Grade 2 Eddie Reed, which is always a popular race in Southern California. And, of course, Woodbine will have 3 stakes races, Hawthorne 2, and Monmouth Park will have another stakes race on Sunday. So setting the table for you as we begin covering another week of the great sport of Kings. That's the way it looks, and that's the latest on most of the news coming out over the weekend. Now, Saratoga on Sunday. Jerry J gave us a reverse play that hit at Saratoga in the opener. His key horse, Scottish Storm, finished second. 2-1 of his link-ups for Luis Saez and Todd Pletcher. That horse paid $4.50. The dollar exacta paid $19.50, and the 50-cent try with the reverse as well with another link-up paid $24.87 for 50 cents. So that wasn't bad. Saez came back and won the early double because he won the second race for George Weaver, paying $6.80. Ired Ortiz Jr. got his first one for Philip Antonucci in the third, paying $4 even. Kendrick Carmouche gave Todd Pletcher his second win of the day in the fourth race, paying $3.50. And then later on in the day, you had the Honorable Miss. And in the Honorable Miss, that stakes race, Helena's Forte wins it for Ired Ortiz Jr.'s second win, Ira Ortiz Jr. winning a stakes race for Phil Bauer paid $50 even. $50 for Ira Ortiz Jr. Can you believe that? In any case, that was the win there. And, of course, there was another $50 winner earlier in the day, and that was in the 6th race at $50 as well. So you combine those two in the pick 6, and nobody had the pick 6. So you have an instant horse player holiday today at Saratoga with a big one-day pick 6 carryover. You got a pick 6 carryover today at Saratoga. The 5s paid $4,272.50. However, the pick 5 that combined those two $50 horses, along with the 640, 1120, and the 1380, the pick 5 was hit. The pick 5 paid $120,413.15. How about that? Del Mar, John Lindo gave us the winner of the first race when Edge of Mali won for Antonio Fresu's first win, paying $460. And then we had a $44 winner in the second race at Del Mar that made the early pick 5 happen in a big way. $44.40 in the second race after the favorite won the first. If you thought that was something, get to the third race. The third race at Del Mar on Sunday paid $77.80. Now you got a 44 and a 77 working in the early pick 5. The fourth race, that winner paid $30.60. Oh my, yeah. And the fifth race paid $13.20. All right. Nobody had the pick 4. 3 out of 4 in that sequence paid $1,743.95. However, somebody connected the pick 5. Those 5 winners got connected in the pick 5 for 50 cents, paid $351,591.44. Boy, I'll tell you, I'd like to see that ticket. Wow. Something else. All righty. Peter Urton had a couple of winners, so did Mike McCarthy. And Peter Urton's second win came in the featured Osanita Stakes. That winner, Maduro, for Umberto Rispoli's second win on the day. Maduro paid $760, outrunning Grand Slam Smile and Queen Maxim, who was the big favorite in that race. The third finisher was Lunar Impact. Queen Maxim finished off the board in that race. And Antonio Fresu capped off 3 wins on the day. As you know, he won the first race with John Lindo's selection. He came back in the 10th race in a pickup mount, paying $13.20, and he won the last race. Fresu won the last race for his third win of the day and paid $37 even for that winner. Pick 6 paid $19,104.30. They had it, but man, that huge pick 5 at Del Mar in the first couple of races. Wow. All right, you're all caught up on everything you needed to know about the weekend and the news and all that stuff there. Now it's time to look ahead to today. And, of course, we'll have your racing menu coming up right after the break. And then we'll have our handicappers, Jonathan Ardoon, Rich Eng, John Lindo, and Jerry J. So don't go away. We're just getting started. We'll be right back.
South Point Casino has plenty of attractions for the whole family. Catch a movie. Our 16-screen movie theater includes 2 XD Extreme screens for the ultimate in viewing, sound, and luxury. After the show, treat the family to a variety of treats at our old-fashioned ice cream parlor, Kate's Corner. We scoop up a variety of creamy concoctions, including smoothies, hand-dipped cones, milkshakes, malts, sodas, and sundaes. At Kate's, there's something for everyone. And if you've still got time to spare, our bowling center might be right up your alley. Voted Best of Las Vegas, it's a great place for friends and family fun. 64 lanes, a pro shop, snack bar, and arcade. And while the kids are bowling, you can play slots and sip on a drink in the Alley Cat Lounge while overlooking the lanes. For our more serious and professional bowlers, the South Point is also home to a separate tournament bowling plaza.
The best of quarter horse racing is always at Los Alamitos. Join us for one of our biggest nights of the year, California Breeders' Champions Night on July 26th, with a full night of stakes action, with the Governor's Cup Futurity led by the super talented filly French Valley. plus top qualifier El Dictator. The Governor's Cup Derby will have a lineup of accomplished runners, plus the ageless Cattail Cove could also be in action. It's the track of Sunsets and Stars, Los Alamitos Racecourse, California Breeders' Champions Night.
Alrighty, we already told you about the weather across the country, so we'll get right to the racing menu for today. Reminding you the first post times we broadcast on the show each and every day reflect that of the Pacific time zone. If you're in the Pacific time zone, like we are here at the South Point, these would be the first post times rolling out in our racebook today. If you're anywhere else in another time zone, adjust from the Pacific time zone to whatever one you're in, and you'll be all set. You won't miss anything like when I miss Mom and Dad, okay? We begin today's racing menu with Belterra Park. Belterra Park has a super high five carryover of $7,506, and their first post time for 8 races set at 8:15. 8:15 at Belterra. Colonial Downs has 9 races, 7 of which are on the turf course. They have a pick 5, a regular pick 5 carryover today at Colonial Downs of $26,901. Their first post time is at 9:30. 9:30 at Colonial Downs. Delaware Park is next. Delaware Park has 9 races, and their first post time is at 9:30. Parks Racing has 10 races after that big carryover mandatory payoff. I think it was Monday in the Pick 5. Anyhow, they have 10 races today at Parks Racing, and their Pick 5 jackpot now has climbed to $26,271. That, of course, after the mandatory on Monday. Pick 5 jackpot, Parks Racing, $26,271. 10 races, first post time is at 9:40. Saratoga begins another week of racing with a steeplechase race. The first race is the hurdles, so don't panic when you see a horse jumping a fence in the first race. Races 2 through 9 will be the flats, and first post time at Saratoga today with that carryover in the pick 6 of $102,004. $102,004 in the pick 6, regular pick 6 carryover at Saratoga. First post time is at 10:10. 10:10, the first post at Saratoga for their 9 races, 8 of which will be the flats for the thoroughbreds. Okay, Finger Lakes is next. Finger Lakes is the other upstate New York racetrack right now. 8 races. First post time is at 10:15 at Finger Lakes. Presque Isle Downs has 8 races, and Presque Isle has a first post time of 12:30. 12:30 at Presque Isle for their 8-race card. Louisiana Downs will kick in with their 7-race card. Louisiana Downs' first post time is at 2:05. Penn National gets underway with their 7-race card at 2:45. 2:45 at Penn National today. And then we wrap it up with Canterbury Park. Canterbury Park has 8 races, and their first post time at Canterbury is at 3:10. 3:10 at Canterbury Park. Okay? All right. Now it's time to go to Jonathan Hardoon standing by. Jonathan, good morning.
Good morning, Ralph. How are you?
I'm fine. We know that the backdrop there is not your normal backdrop, so I guess you're in a different location today, huh?
I'm at an undisclosed bunker somewhere on the witness protection program, and I'm hiding out.
Is that, you're already hiding out for your soapbox today? All right, now listen. We're going to cover this.
Wait, one thing, Ralph. We got to say one thing first. Finding Rispoli for an extra 2, he was not winning that race without getting into that horse. I'm sorry. These people are crazy. They really have to rethink this rule of theirs, because if there was ever a case where you needed the extra whip or 2, that was certainly the case.
So I guess I'm going to kind of add to my thoughts about the whipping rule. Now, remember, I said the whipping rule, the first thing you ought to do is check the horse. If he doesn't have any welts or anything like that, they shouldn't be fining the jockey for hurting the horse, because he didn't. All right? Now, right. The second part of that rule might be now, watch the race in which the jockey hit more than 6 times. If you determine that his hitting the horse without harming the horse, if you determine hitting the horse without harming him made the difference between winning and losing in a close finish, you shouldn't find him either. I'm going to put that I'm going to add that to the.
We're adding that to the. Yeah. We're adding that ingredient in, and that's just common sense, Ralph. Is it not common sense? Are you not supposed to give 100 effort in whatever you're doing every
Well,
time.
what about the betting public? They're expecting him to do everything he
That's
can to
what
win
I'm
the race.
talking about.
Yeah.
Right.
It's called integrity,
If you
racing
bet on that
integrity.
horse, if you bet on that horse, you needed every bit of that whip, extra whip.
Yeah,
That's
racing
first of
integrity. All right, now we're going to get to another racing integrity for the horse players. We're here for the players, folks.
That's what it's all about, Ralph.
Right. The CAW situation has been exemplified many times in many areas. As a matter of fact, our chatters on the chat box today are talking about this. But what happened at Del Mar on Sunday, it was unbelievable. Now, you sent us a still frame of the video of the start of a race at Del Mar.
Del Mar.
Now, you see this? We've got it on screen now. You will notice that Sean circled number 3. When the gates opened and they left the gate, this horse was 8-1 on the morning line. Evidence is shown right there. Okay? Well, you're going to tell us what he paid.
Well, it's on the board there because Sean put up the payout of $9.80. So
$9.80, folks, after winning the race, after leaving the gate at 8-1. That was the example we're showing you now, proof positive. There were 2 other examples.
Receipts, Ralph. We brought receipts.
Yes, there are 2 other examples that happened on Sunday. Go.
Well, first of all, they were just blatant on Sunday. They had no regard for the players. They didn't care what they were doing. But there were a total of 4 races where it really affected. The third race, the winner paid $77.80, but when he left the gate, he was 50-1. Okay, so a $500 bet could have done that. That's fine. The biggest one, Ralph, was in the Privman race. Privman, who was 1-9, somebody made a huge bet today, but a horse named Fasto in the race, the 7 horse, the John Sheriff's horse, was 17-1 when the gates opened. He noticed it, but he went off 5-1. Could you imagine if he would have won 17-5? Give me a break. Then in the big way, Medoro was the next one. He was 4-1 and ended up paying $760. But when you go from 8-1 to 3-1, it's enough, Ralph. It's enough. How much do they expect people to take? You got to give Naira credit. At least cut them out of the win pool. There's no more CAW in the win pool at Naira, and that's a big plus. The problem is that they're involved in every pool now. They are involved in all the pools. They're involved with everything. So an exact is in doubles, you realize it unless you're charting numbers. In 2003, W was 8% of the handle. Now it's closer to 36.5% of the handle. 36%, we're dealing with these guys. What shot do you really have anymore? And it's only getting worse. And the only people that are complaining could do nothing about it. That's the sad part. The higher people, they don't, Ralph, they don't care. Come out with some statement.
All right, Jonathan, I'm going to have to stop you for just a minute because your signal is going in and out and you're choppy. So we're getting like a word or two every there. But we got the important thing out. And the fact is, okay, the $77 horse, when you're dealing about that high a price, it's not going to take a lot of money to drop them down to 77
right, I said
from
$500
50.
could have made that happen.
And we're talking about total from all over the country.
That's no big deal.
All right. The other one, the $7 horse, that also is within the realm of late money coming in. But these other 2 examples that you put up there are examples that only can be traced back to a CAW effect. Guaranteed about that.
But Ralph, even when you 5-2, that's a big drop as well, because the odds are shorter, so it takes more money to make that drop. Yeah. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. So, like I said, you're breaking up a little, but we're getting most of what you're saying there. And we do apologize for that. It's probably your bunker. But in any case, to wrap this up, I do want to mention one more thing, and that is you noticed it, we noticed it, a lot of players out there noticed it, etc. I look at HISA. I know that HISA is only concerned about the integrity of the horse's safety and all that, but you have to also be very cognizant of the integrity of the sport itself. And so, asking you this final question: who can make the who can we complain to? I mean, what can you do except talking about it?
That's a problem. We have no one to complain to because the racetracks are basically in bed with the CAWs. They own the betting platforms. It's just a disaster, and I don't see it getting any better. Again, NYRA took the initiative. No more CAW in the win pools. But again, they're in all the other pools as well that people don't notice because unless you're charting an exacta and you look, well, 6-3 was paying $29, so I'm going to play that. And I'm betting it late, with a minute to post. And then it comes in 6-3 and you get $11. Well, you didn't notice that unless you were charting the exactas.
Right. So
they're in those pools.
So there's a lot more examples out there that are going under the radar because only individual peoples that are betting those combinations would notice it if they took the time to even chart it. Okay.
Right.
All right. Now you've cleared up a little bit with the choppiness. So now I'm going to ask you this. Flavien Prat opened the Saratoga meeting, winning the first 3 races of Saratoga, and we were all, we were all thinking, well, here he is, here he goes, he's starting off right away. But you have an interesting statistic since then.
After starting off 3 for 3 and getting everybody scared, well, the old Ortiz brothers better watch out and this and that. Since then, he's 4 for 48. Very un-Pratt-like, I'll tell you that much.
So since those 3 winners, up until today, he's had 48 other mounts at Saratoga and have won only how many again?
Four
more
other races.
Okay. Well, everybody goes through a slump, even the great ones. And I can honestly tell you.
Me? I know better than anybody.
Right. Yes. Even the great handicappers, folks. So Jonathan's going to give us a horse today. Is going to get him out of the bunker. Okay.
And guess who's on him, Ralph Pratt.
Okay. But before we get to that, and we are going to get to that in just a moment, I will have to say that, trust me when I tell you, Pratt will get out of that funk real soon.
And so will I.
Yes. So let's start right now. Let's get you guys done.
Okay, Ralph. First of all, the weather is absolutely beautiful in Saratoga today, but we're going to look at the 7th race today, 7 furlongs on the main track. And I love the number 7 horse in here, Despo's Dream. This is a 4-year-old filly from the Fernando Abreu barn. Flavien Prat re-rides. The horse is listed at 9-2 on the morning line. She ran very well 2 starts back. She bounced last time out. Look for her to rebound and run a big one today. I like number 7, Despo's Dream, to win today's 7th race out at Saratoga.
All right, 7th race at Saratoga today, number 7, easy to remember, the 7 and the 7th race, Despo's Dream, with Mr. Pratt aboard. Mr. Hardoon and Mr. Pratt are going to get out of their funk with a win here in the 7th race on the 7 horse. Now, before I let you go, they did draw for the Jim Dandy coming up this weekend. Of course, it is the Saratoga Prep for the Travers Stakes. And there were 5 horses in the race, so they found 4 others to go against Sovereignty. From the rail out, number 1 is Baeza, Hector Barrios riding for John Sheriffs. The 2 is Sandman. He returns. Jose Ortiz for Mark Cassie. The 3 is Moplex, Manny Franco for Jeremiah Engelhardt. The 4 is Hill Road, Irad Ortiz Jr. for Chad Brown. And the 5 is the Derby and Belmont Stakes winner, Sovereignty, reuniting Junior Alvarado and Belmont on Sovereignty. What do you say?
Good luck, Ralph. You're going to watch the race. That's what you're going to do. I don't think you're betting the race. Not only Sovereignty, the horse that beat, but he's training extremely well. And listen, terrific job. This horse obviously needs time between races, and he never runs a bad race. So why not?
Okay. Well,
By the way, Ralph, one other thing on that pick 5 at Sunday. I honestly thought that CAW had to hit that because, but that wasn't There were 2 tickets purchased, one at Twin Spires. The guy spent over $9,500 buying that ticket. And the other ticket was hit at TVG on a $192 ticket. That guy got real lucky and changed his life on a $192 bet. But those were the 2 that bought those, the 2 winning tickets.
All right, you're starting to get choppy again. Now, that's okay. We got most of it. I wanted to clarify. You're talking about that $350,000 pick 5 at Del Mar. There were 2 tickets and where they came from and how much it was, right?
Correct.
Okay.
One was 9,500. One was 192.
All right, you got it. Thanks a lot, my man. A lot of good stuff here. Now go and have something nice and comfortable and cool and cool down and get your blood pressure down now again before you move on with the day. Okay, my man.
Tomorrow I'll report to you from the roof of this. Thank you, Ralph.
In any case, you do have a sheet today, and it's for Saratoga.
JONHARDOON.com. Thank you, Ralphie. Stay safe and be well.
You got it, my man. Thanks a lot. Oh, man, what a segment that was, huh? We're not done yet. We got Rich Yang, John Lindo, and maybe even Jerry Jackowitz. We'll find out. Don't go away.
Here we are in Houston, opening up our first veteran village. This beautiful building that's going to house 161 homeless veterans. Any veteran that risked their lives and are struggling with PTSD, mental illness, addiction. We're also building what I call comfort homes, 500 square foot homes. These are for older homeless veterans, so they have their own space and give them back some of their dignity, some of their independence, and most certainly give them back their life. Go to T2T.org to learn how you can change a veteran's life forever.
Sports by the book.
Sports by the book.
Sports by the book.
Sports by the book, South Point Studio.
We don't make stuff up here.
I would only play the Pirates team total going under.
What the hell happened to Minnesota's pitching? This total is really crashed without plumbing the lineup.
I think this number's too high, but they're landing the 6.
Oh, I know.
Caitlin Clark drives handle on the WNBA.
Never mind all these Mickey Mouse other stations. We are giving you hands-on information.
All right, back on Race Day Las Vegas. Time to go out to Rich Yang standing by. And then, of course, if it's Wednesday, we are going to go out to Dwayne Colucci out at the Rampart. First, Richie. Good morning, Rich.
Hey, good morning, Ralphie. Good morning, viewers. Good morning, listeners, Ralph. And let me throw in 2 cents before I give a quick pick for you guys.
Sure.
Yesterday, just to support what you and Jonathan were talking about, yesterday I'm watching FanDuel, Louisiana Downs, race number 5. Nick picks the outside horse it was 8-1 morning line, was named Music Mistress. So the horse was 5-1 loading the gate. Nick Hines picks the horse. The horse wins ahead, Bob. Matt Carruthers, who's on the show on the shift with him, says, "Nice pick, Sarge." And Sarge looks at the odds. It's 6-5. What happened? The horse dropped from
5-1 to 6-5.
Yeah, you can take a look at the chart. It's the 5th race yesterday, Louisiana Downs, Music Mistress. Nick Hines picked the horse at 5-1, wins the race 6-5.
All I can say, Richie, is at this point in time, we're going to have a lawmaker or somebody take up this fight for the race players, because it's not anything nefarious that's going on with actually fixing a race with these horses. But it is, to a degree, nefarious that they're finding a way to get it into the pools that the regular race player does not have. And that's an unfair advantage. Case closed there. All right, Richie, let's have a pick from you, my man.
Race number 2 at Saratoga. It's only a 6-horse field, but it's really, really competitive. The horse I like is number 5, Zadorsky. Whitman Beckman shipping in from Kentucky. This horse has won 2 straight by daylight. And I think this horse will hold price because the one is Chad Brown, probably going to be like 3 or 4 to 5 on the rail. So let's go with the 5, Zadorsky in the second.
All right, right into the face of Chad Brown and the odds-on favorite in the second race. You like the 5, Zadorsky, the 5 in the second race at Saratoga. All right, thanks a lot, Rich. We'll have a little bit more time to talk to you tomorrow. Thank you.
Hey, thanks, Val. Good luck, everybody.
All right, we're going to go right to the Rampart where Mr. Dwayne Colucci is standing by. Dwayne, good morning.
Good morning, Ralph. How are you today?
I'm doing fine, my man. I will ask a quick thought about your impression of the Haskell in journalism.
It was impressive. I'll tell you, once again, Rispoli had to work him over a little, but he was able to reel in Gosker once again, and definitely a credit to this world champion racehorse. I would still say he's behind Sovereignty in the race for 3-year-olds, but he is quite impressive, and it's good to see that he's going to stay home now, probably stick it out up until the Breeders' Cup Classic. But tremendous effort. I was shocked, I'll be honest. I thought that the Baffert horse and Gosker were clear.
Yeah, at the top of the stretch, a lot of people thought that journalism was not going to be able to win that race. But then again, they thought that same thing at the Preakness, and he did. He finds a way of doing it, and I agree with you. I'm glad to see they're going to give him just come back a little bit on him and not pursue going back for the Travers, I would think. We'll find out later on, but that I think is the plan right now. And of course, this weekend in the Jim Dandy, Sovereignty looks like he's going to have an afternoon exercise in the Jim Dandy.
Yeah, it's according to pace, though. It's a short field there, Ralph. And, Saratoga, graveyard of favorites. So Sovereignty's going to have to be on his A game. Baez is going to be ready. Chad Brown will have Hill Road ready. And, there's several options. Sandman has been working very well. But Sovereignty is the class of that field. And, he runs his race. He's going to be ultra tough to beat. He is the top 3-year-old in the country.
Dwayne, I know you have a lot of horse players up there at the Rampart. Any of them talking about this CAW stuff there in the crowd?
Everybody, Ralph. I mean, come on. How is it that they never pick a loser? How is it that a loser never gets plied with this late money? It's incredible. Somebody's got to step in. I'm old school. I'm like you guys. I wish they would go back, honestly, to where the first horse loads into the gate. Shut down betting. I mean, it's just ridiculous at this point when you're watching horses that are double digits that go down into almost the favoritism role at the top of the stretch as they lead by 3 or 4 lengths. And they never pick a loser. Keep that in mind, Ralph. You never see a horse that loses odds plummet. It's always the winner of the race, it seems like, and it's getting tiresome now, and it definitely takes its toll on the horse player. It takes its toll on a bookmaker like myself trying to promote the game because it's so hard to get the youngsters involved when they see stuff like this happening.
Yeah, it's almost like what the heck is going on is the thought in your mind. And you shouldn't have that thought when you win a race. You're supposed to be happy. And yet people look at it and they feel like they're cheated when they see odds at one and they go through and win the race and then they don't get the price that they thought they had. In any case, talking about not always picking a winner, you're pretty good, my man. You're pretty close to always picking a winner. What do we got today, Dwayne?
Let's plug away, Ralph. My man is making an appearance at Saratoga. I'm so happy. David Jacobson. He's got 2 horses today. I'm going to pick the one in the 4th race. I like Remy's Moon coming off a win at Ellis Park for $50,000. We're getting Manuel Franco. You're getting a nice price at 5-1. 2 out of 3 thus far, and David is going to have this horse cranked, definitely. I feel he's going to be close to the lead. We're going to get a decent price because this is a very, very difficult race. It's a sequence in the pick 5. I'll probably be using both of David's because his other horse is in race 2. But Remy's Moon looks really good, has some speed, and I think the speed will carry here today in the 4th race at Saratoga. Jacobson and Franco, let's cash some tickets.
4th race. Dwayne has number 7, Remy's Moon, for all of those reasons, the 7 and the 4th race today at Saratoga. And if you're up in his part of the country here in the sprawling suburb of Las Vegas, Nevada, and then some, and you don't stop at the Rampart, that'll be your first bad beat, that's for sure. Stop by and see Dwayne up there at the Rampart. Thanks a lot, Dwayne.
Thanks, Ralph. Have a great day.
You got it, my man. Now we're gonna blow off our last commercial because the soapbox got pretty long. So we're gonna go right to John Lendo standing by. John, good morning.
Good morning, Ralph. How you doing?
I'm doing fine, my man. I guess we can get you to to weigh in on the CAW as well.
It's awful. I mean, putting it in terms for Las Vegas, let's say you bet on the Raiders +7, they kick off, and you find out at halftime you only got 4 points. How would that go over in the sports books in town? It wouldn't. So we're dealing right now with that same kind of situation with horses, and it's just not right. And there was an interview before the meet started with the president of Del Mar, Josh Rubenstein, saying that the thoroughbred owners of California had required them to change some of the parameters for these CAW companies, and they were expecting a significant handle decrease because of that. But it looks like they're in there and firing away. So we'll see what happens. We'll monitor this as it goes on.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, the drastic drop of the example that we showed on Sunday is not something that can happen from the general public playing through the last minute. That doesn't happen because the general public will usually establish pretty much the parameters that move slightly from one way or the next in the first 10 minutes of the usual 30-minute time, the betting period between races. They don't all of a sudden have this epiphany when the horses are going into the gate to go and dump that kind of money on a horse that gets from 8-1 to that price, 7-2. That does not happen with the general public, and that's what we're talking about. We're talking about protecting the general public, and they're going to have to go back and see what happened over the weekend there at Del Mar, if that's what he said.
Right, and that's only the win pools that we're seeing. They're in the exacta pools, they're in the daily double pools, the trifectas. So there's a lot of action there that we're not even seeing.
Journalism back in Southern California looks like he's going to hang out there and just stay home until the Breeders' Cup that comes to Southern California at Del Mar. I know that it's too early because we got to wait and see how he bounces out of that Haskell race, etc. But he's done so many times throughout the year already. The only horse to run in all 3 Triple Crown races and then some. But do you think that maybe the Pacific Classic might be on the calendar?
Well, he got back into Del Mar last night, got in fine, and I think a lot of where he runs next, the connections will be watching Nisos very closely in the San Diego Handicap this Saturday, because if Nisos runs big, he's supposed to go in the Pacific Classic. Let's say Nisos doesn't fire and skips the Pacific Classic. Well, it's sitting right there on the table for journalism. So I think the intention, if everything works out, that we will probably see journalism in the Pacific Classic next. But, the Travers is there. So a lot will depend on what Nisos does this weekend. So there's a lot riding on that, even for people who aren't in the race.
Well, all I can say is that Dr. Veckman is kind of almost ducking Nisos in the San Diego. Veckman won that race last year, so he would be defending it this year. He's going to go in the Bing Crosby instead. But I could see where him going in the Bing Crosby, that's a Breeders' Cup winning you're in a Grade 1 race. So it's a little bit more of a prestige to win the Bing Crosby than the San Diego, but they're staying separated this weekend.
Well, it's a Grade 1 race, and there's no Nisos. So, you can go there or you can take on the Bear. And Mark Glad has already said, well, Nisos is in the other race, so we're going over here.
Well, John, you got the update at Saratoga for us?
Yeah, as far as the jockeys and trainers go, Red Ortiz is the leading jockey, 17 wins. Jose Ortiz has got 15. You guys mentioned the kind of the flat week that Flavien Prat had. He's in a tie for third with 7 wins with Joel Rosario, Luis Saez, and Ricardo Santana Jr. As far as the trainers, Todd Pletcher's your leading trainer. He's got 7 winners. Linda Rice right behind with 6. And then you have Chad Brown and Joe Sharp. They've each got 5 wins, so the trainers are bunched up. And for you, Ralph, favorites are hitting right around 38% at Saratoga.
All right, okay. That's doable, that's for sure. I will say this, that Joe Sharp is pretty hot right now with his stable.
Yeah, I think he won 1 race a day for 4 days last week. So he's just quietly knocking them out. And those shippers, he had a lot of horses at Churchill Downs. Those Churchill shippers have done very well at Saratoga.
Well, I know you have a Linda report today for Saratoga that's here at the South Point Racebook. I believe it's the late pick 5, correct?
The late pick 5 today at Saratoga. And a reminder, there is a pick 6 carryover today at Saratoga as well.
Yeah, there is. A big one, over 100,000. So we've got a lot going on at Saratoga today, and the Lindo Report covering the last 5 races, certainly at Saratoga, available right now, free of charge, exclusively here, only here at the South Point Hotel Casino Complex in your gaming capital. Only here because they love horse players, and, of course, the Lindo Report. John, give us a horse.
Well, Richie Yang picked a horse trained by Whit Beckman in race 2. I hope Beckman has a good day. I'm going to him in race number 8. He trains number 5, Say Cheese, coming off a layoff. This horse has come off a layoff twice, has won both times, worked it well over the Saratoga main track, one of those shippers from the Midwest, and I think he's in a good spot here. 12-1 on the morning line is a very tempting price. Anything close, I'm in. Race number 8, number 5, Say Cheese at Saratoga.
All right, the 8th race at Saratoga, part of that pick 6 with the carryover. In the 8th race, you like number 5, Say Cheese. I hope he does say cheese in the winner's circle to take the picture. In any case, the 8 horse, in the 8th race, I should say the 5 horse, number 5 in the 8th race there from John Lindo off of his sheet. We did not connect with Jerry Jackowitz this morning, and so all I can say, folks, is that we don't have a Jerry pick for you at Saratoga today. I'm sure he has his Jerry J's Power Page, though, available at jerryjspowerpage.com for today at Saratoga. Well, hopefully Jerry's okay. Just a misconnection there. But in any case, hopefully we'll get him back for tomorrow. In the meantime, a very exciting week coming up, that's for sure, with the Jim Dandy. Sovereignty, I guess, is just a walkover, huh?
Well, you got to remember, he comes from off the pace, and it's a 5-horse field in the Jim Dandy without a lot of speed. So, anytime you have to worry about what the pace is going to be, there's always that little bit of doubt. But it's a home game for Sovereignty, and he's been pointed to the Jim Dandy ever since the Belmont. And that guy, Bill Mott, he's pretty good when he has a target.
He sure does, and you know that well, that's for sure. And but Saratoga is the graveyard favorite, so we'll wait and see about that. In the meantime, we wrap up today's Race Day Las Vegas show with John Lindo's giving us the last word.
Have a great race day, everybody.